So I've been doing a lot of work recently on how to make things in Trailmakers more durable, and it all breaks down into how the weld group is grouped. And what we can use stronger weld groups for is stronger weapons. Now, these weapons have a trait that there is no line you can split down this that will, like, destroy everything. So, like, if you see... Here, I'll paint one of these a different color other than black so that we can actually look at it. And then we'll do carbon fiber. If we follow this line, then it stops here, and you can't break this entire piece off there. If we follow this one, it stops here, and you can't break that entire piece off. There's no single line here that if you broke off, except for the very tip here, that if you, like, tried to snap, kind of like a pack of graham crackers, it would break. And that is very important for when it comes to making stronger weapons. So if I go over to here, just delete that, and just make it blocks. I'm just gonna use the masked block. Or you know what? Just to make it fair, I'm gonna make it about the same material. Just a solid line of these things. Or even, because that one's wider, because that one's 3 wide. We'll make this one 4 wide. And it's going to be weaker than this one could be. So if I go ahead and go over here, and then spawn in something... I'll go ahead and spawn in a blue beetle mech that I've been working on. I can walk over here. I might have to pull out a more durable mech, but if I hit it with this one, which does not seem to be working. Oh, 1 second. The controller I was looking for broke off when I got out of the seat, but if I walk up to here and hit X, my blade didn't break really almost at all. Whereas that took some damage. But if I go ahead and hit it with the left side, I should probably be using a hull target or something. But my blade broke a lot more there. It also did a little bit more damage, that's just because it was a cleaner hit. But like, that even broke my leg. So having the weld groups like more together can definitely be beneficial. Here I have a better tower for testing, and we can go ahead and hit it with the right side, and step a little bit closer. And that did a lot of damage. I did take a little bit of damage in the process, so I'm going to, because I just kicked it wrong, I'm going to repair that. Repair this. I'll try another damage test. And then that side did some decent damage, and then if I hit it with the left side, it didn't do almost any damage, and it basically just broke. That side, the power course hit into it and exploded it, and it was already weakened. But there is definitely some merit to configuring your weld groups in such a way that make them stronger than just snapping at specific parts. So how you do this is, you want to build something. I use the dinghy blocks because they're kind of high strength. Here, I'll recolor this to like that. Set as default. In a way that it won't be broken up. So you might be tempted to do something like this, and then patch that up, because you can't break it up this way because it would run into there. But now you can break it up in this part. So what we're gonna do is space that out a little bit, and then, what am I gonna do? One thing you can do is layer it like that, but the problem that we face now is the middle can snap. So I like to layer them like this, and then have some kind of overlap usually. Because if I give that a little bit more space, add a 1x6 here, and a 1x6 here, and then a block in the middle, there isn't a clean line, because we're splitting this up into two longer lines that can't be fully broken through. Meaning that with this, we can be hit here, and that's going to absorb it, or we can be hit here, and this is going to stop it from breaking entirely and like splitting off of that line. And if we want to extend this, we can go ahead and use 2x4s, like that, and then we can just duplicate them over. Because they're being held together in between the split by this, so like if you tried to break these two off, like a snapping motion, this is gonna stop it from happening. And then we can duplicate that. And then it is as simple as adding another one of those. I'm gonna add one of those to this side too. And then with this little structure, we can duplicate this however long we want, and it'll be a pretty strong blade. And once again, it is very important to look at, like, oh hey, we do have a long line here, but it is held together by that and that, keeping it together on the sides, and these two keeping it together. So like, if you follow a path, there is a block before, like, it gets to the end. Because something like that could just snap at this point, and there's only like a little bit of connection here, and it's going to divide the weld group here. But if you force it to be one weld group, then I can even like put this here, and nothing bad is gonna happen. Because if you try to split it this way, we have this. If you try to split it this way, really nothing's gonna happen until here, which is pretty stable. And you can use this for some pretty cool weapons. You can also use this technique when you make armor, so it's kind of like making a brick wall, except this would be the weak point. And it's very similar to how the structure of brick walls is stronger, but it's in a, like, 3D dimension. Because if we were only going for 2-dimensional, then a brick wall like this would work. But we want it covered from this axis too. So what we can do is layering things. Say I have these two. I want to, like, cover up where the line split is there and there. But now there's another line split right here. So what we can do is put it that there. Put these two here. And then there's a line split that you could just break off right here. So however big your armor is, you can kind of like make it this unbreakable pattern of wherever a line goes is protected. And it's a little bit easier on swords and stuff because you can use odd widths to your advantage. But something that we would want to do here is something that maybe doesn't go... Just like this can break off. And it's kind of like a weird sort of paradox of if you add another thing, that thing could break off. But we can also use 3D space to like put all of these on here. And now this could break like that. But if I move this down one and put this here, now it's connected to both of these, and this block could still break off. It's less likely to, and like we can use that to our advantage. If this is a spot that you're not going to be hit like most of the time, then you can use that to your advantage when it comes to making armor. Working with diagonals can also help because you can get basically the same structure as we had with the sword. And there are 3 points that this would break, so what we can do is have a panel in between them. So I think the sword design here, I can pull out a copy for reference. Right there. The sword design uses a lot of 2x4s, so it's basically like connecting that to there. Well, it uses a lot of 2x2x4s. And then, because this is out of place, we can connect it with one of those. And this whole line is kind of screwed up. But if we go like that, because it uses some of these and some like one lines. And if we go like that, then we can line that up to there. And we need that spacer in between. But we can definitely get this shape, which I'm going to use a 2x2 here. Or apparently not. He's got moved over here. I'm going to delete the blade now. But as you can see from this little design here, any line that you would have going through gets stopped by a different thing. So what we can use that for is putting, like, stopping that up with there, and then any line you see is being broken up by a block. And we can actually use those to make bigger ones. Now, this is going to be a little bit unstable because the entire line here only breaks up right here, but what we could do is move that down, move that up, and then connect these like that. And then every line you see except for this outer one, which we can fix by turning these two to 1x6s, is patched. And it's all about making sure that there's not a clean split. Anyways, a fairly shorter video for today, but I hope that can help you make better armor for tanks, mechs, anything that'll take physical damage, and make better weapons. I hope you enjoyed, and see ya.